It's a striking chair, but also a reminder of a darker time in Canada's history. Beyond the carved grapevines, oak leaves, and acorns hides a mystery. More than 100 years of twists and turns, even an American president. Margalo White has no idea how her family came to own this chair, but she always suspected it had a story.
Here's 1915, Camp Spirit Lake.
Spirit Lake was an internment camp in Quebec's Abitibi region, where so-called enemy aliens, mostly immigrants from Eastern Europe, were held during the First World War. The engraving on the back says the chair was crafted by a detainee named Sofian. Spirit Lake operated between January 1915 and January 1917. It was located near the town of Amos, about 600 kilometers northwest of Montreal. Nearly 1,200 men, women, and children were rounded up and transported to Abitibi by train.
Over the years, I just got more and more interested in it and wanted to find the owner.
A few months ago, the 86-year-old saw an article that I'd written about a forgotten cemetery that's linked to Spirit Lake and reached out to CBC for help.
I just had a sense that I just wanted to honor and acknowledge who carved the chair rather than seeing it go to landfill or something.
This is a unique piece.
Lubomir Lusiak has seen other artifacts from this time period, but nothing like this.
It's the finest I've ever seen. To have a piece like that actually says from the Spirit Lake internment camp and his name and a year is really unique. And it belongs in the Canadian Museum of History.
With Lusiak's help, I looked at a register of camp detainees as well as a discharge form and a logbook for Spirit Lake. All of them list a Sergei Sofian. He was detained at the camp along with his wife and 3 children who ranged in age from 6 months to 13 years old. In genealogical records, a man by the same name and his family came to Quebec from Romania in 1912. They moved to the Windsor, Ontario area, and in 1923 settled south of the border in Michigan. On several documents, Sofian lists his trade as a cabinet maker or carpenter. The Quebec Family History Society, a charity with access to millions of records in Canada and the United States, reviewed the records with me and believe that all signs point to this Sofian being the same as the one at Spirit Lake. While his first name is sometimes spelled differently, that was common in records from the era, as were discrepancies in age.
For people from Eastern Europe, they did change their names a lot. Because when they went through customs or they didn't understand it properly or it sounded differently.
The mystery of this craftsman's life became clearer to me when I found a newspaper from Michigan. In 1933, it reported that a Romanian farmer named Sergei Sofian had made a table for U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The Franklin D. Roosevelt Presidential Library found letters between Sofian and the White House that confirmed that Sofian had sent the table as a Christmas present. In a subsequent letter, he asked the president for financial assistance, writing that he was poor and could not make the rent on the farm he was working on. Sofian died a few years later in 1936 from heart problems.
My gosh. Well, I'm overwhelmed.
When White found out the presumed identity of the man who made the chair, she was thrilled to discover his backstory. She'll take some time to decide where the chair will go next.
This chair has had a journey, and so we still have to figure out where its next journey is going to be.